unwritten rule is you work about 50 hours a week when you enter management in this industry. So you work 10 hours a day, you're 5 days, but you get ahead because of those extra 10 hours a week. You learn more, you interact more, you gain more experience. So now by the new rules, a great manager can't even come to work and put in that extra time. In 2006, 60% of small businesses were owned by families. Now 42% of small businesses are owned by families. Now that 18% drop, Neil, is really bothersome to me. And these are the kind of things that impact small business and families, and the majority of these small businesses are female run. So this is a whammy across the board. It impacts a lot.
Now, leave it to a guy who rescues bars to say the administration's latest edict is going to close those bars, or at least a lot of them, lots of other businesses too, that could soon be forced, all of them, to pay overtime. And let's just say Money Watch's Garrett Kalpam, Hadley Heath Manning aren't exactly drinking to that. Gary, you say it's silly, but it is happening. What's your worry?
Well, look, here's the problem. You have people in government that have never written a paycheck to an employee, telling employers what they have to put in their paycheck. And you add up the big hikes in minimum wage that are coming down the pike, the mandates in health care, and the word costs are going up big time. And when costs go up for business owners, guess what happens? Employment goes down or prices go higher. Nothing good comes of it.
You know, Hadley Heath, we should just say to some people who don't understand what's going on here is the way things stand now, you have a salaried worker up to around $22,000, $23,000. They start working overtime. You have to pay them time and a half for every hour over 40 hours. Now what the administration wants to do is push it up to around $52,000, $53,000, effectively doubling it. That gets to be a big expense for companies. You fear what happens then.
Well, Gary's right. This is part of an overall trend, a bigger trend to overregulate the American workplace. And this comes with a lot of costs, not only in terms of dollars, but in terms of upward mobility. There's just a basic concept. We cannot regulate people into prosperity. If people want to reach a higher quality of life or compensation, they can have those opportunities, but many of these regulations counter to that goal. All
right, so Gary, what would happen then? I'm a boss, I have a bunch of workers, I'm telling them to work overtime, I've got a lot more who would qualify under this new standard to pay them overtime. Well, you know, I'm going to rejigger their schedules so that they're not, right?
Listen, for every action that's mandated, there's going to be a reaction. Business owners, unlike government, are accountable to their bottom line and to their businesses, to their families, especially for small businesses. And what it comes down to is, if I'm paying an extra $50,000 a year because I'm mandated to, not because I want to, I'm going to look somewhere to save that $50,000. And you times that by all the businesses this affects around the United States, employment, not good, costs, not good, and the economy slows. Just a vicious cycle starts to happen.
You know, Hadley, the view I get from the other side on this is they say, well, if this was so, damaging, or just the prospect of this was so damaging, much as the prospect of higher minimum wage was so damaging, why are companies hiring now? Why are jobs picking up right now? They say if that was out there, if that fear was out there, that would be the last thing businesses would be doing right now. What do you say to that?
Well, businesses are always looking at their bottom line. They don't respond necessarily to social pressure the same way that they respond to a profit motive. And so many companies are absolutely raising their wages beyond minimum wage, offering benefits beyond what's required of them, because they recognize that's what it takes in today's competitive environment to attract and retain good workers. That's the market at work. That's not the result of regulations. That's the result of companies responding to market forces. And that's the way forward for people to have real and not artificial wage growth, a real improvement in the quality of their life.
I think what they're also saying, though, Gary, just to give them their due, they're saying, look, with all the health care law, scare voting, all that other stuff, and the rules and regulations that we hear Gary talk about, it's not having the effect of freezing hiring. It's not having the effect of businesses not growing. It's not having the effect of them not putting up some remarkable numbers, even with all of that. You say what to that?
I say that with 0% interest rates and the printing of $15 trillion around the globe, we would be at 6–7% GDP and not where we are right now. They are killing the potential of this economy. It would be so much stronger. Remember, the greatness of this country are the people that go to work every day. They're just getting in the way, continually poking and prodding businesses, which does nothing more than put more headwinds in the face of business.
Hadley, real quick.
And I want to add,
Go ahead.
I just want to add the employer mandates and the health care reform haven't even come to fruition yet. They've been delayed
Bingo.
twice unilaterally by the
Very
White
good
House.
point.
So until those mandates are in effect, we can't really gauge the economic impact.
All right, guys, I want to thank you both. You argued very eloquently, Gary and Hadley. Much appreciated. Meantime, a government worker busted for watching porn on the taxpayer's dime. So why did it take 15 weeks to give him the boot?